Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is StevieWunderKid and welcome back to another brand new GTA 5 drifting video. So in light of the brand new Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC, Rockstar pretty much secretly added brand new liveries to GTA Online, specifically for the drift tune cars that I don't think anybody really noticed. Somebody had to let me know and eventually I was like, whoa, like there's way more to it than I think we originally thought. I know in my first video on the topic of drifting with this new update, I was very negative. I think I still have a right to be pretty negative because Rockstar didn't add that many new drift cars. In addition to that, they nerfed the drift tuning upgrades. Again, if you want to find out more, definitely go check that video out. But one of the positive things I didn't really know about when I made that first video was the fact that Rockstar added so many new liveries for the drift tune cars, which definitely helps give a little bit more variety to our builds. It sort of makes up for the fact that we don't have a lot of new drift cars, but still would have been nice to have those, but I'm not complaining that we have more liveries to play with. So basically going into how you can actually access these liveries, currently these liveries have been rolled out to 10 vehicles and they are all drift tune cars. So we've got the Cypher, the Euros, the Futo GTX, Jester RR, the Nebula Turbo, the Remus, the Sentinel Classic Widebody version. Not the original Sentinel Classic, you must have the Widebody upgrade in Benny's before you access this livery. Then we've got the Drift Tampa and the Drift Yosemite, and then finally the ZR350. So those are the 10 drift tuning cars that have access to these liveries. For whatever reason, they left out the FR36. I'm not quite sure why, but anyways, those are the 10 cars that have access to these liveries, and in order to actually go and equip them, the car needs to have the drift tuning upgrade. So you need to go to the LS car meet and equip the drift tuning upgrade, and once that's done, you can access these liveries at literally any mod shop. To my knowledge, there is no level requirement. I'm not sure 100% on that. If one of you guys want to let me know in the comments if there are actual game level requirements. There is no LS car meet rep level requirements, so a lot of these should be unlocked by default. So yeah, that's really exciting as well that they're not like paywalled or they're not like time walled or anything like that. That's really nice to see. And again, you can access them in any mod shop so long as your car has drift tuning. So we're going to get to kind of like a little showcase and reaction of each of these liveries on my cars, because a lot of these I really hadn't explored that much before, but they're really in line with my style on my interest in like 90s Japanese drift cars, and I was super excited to see a lot of these. So we're going to get right into the reactions, but hopefully this little kind of intro to the video helped you guys if you're confused about what cars they have access to and also how you can equip these liveries for yourselves. So with that all being covered, let's get right into the showcase. Alrighty, so kicking off these brand new liveries, first off we've got the Annis Euros here. Now we already had the Sprunk Late, and I think the last one that we had in the game was the Candy Box Gold, which is the Twerk Stallion reference. So moving on with the new ones, first off we have the Drift Jackal Racing, as you guys can see here. Nice bright vibrant color scheme with the fluoro blue on that orange, looks really cool. I like that it's got the outline around the headlights too, that's really nice. Almost looks like Spider-Man or like he's wearing a mask or something. But yeah, Drift Jackal Racing. Then we have the Drift Arrow. This looks super hot, very discreet. I love the black with the red, looks super awesome there with all the graphics all over the hood and then the roof too. Next we have the Drift Neds, and by the way, as you guys will see throughout this video, Neds is kind of like the new brand that they decided to add to GTA Online. So it's nitrous enhanced drive systems, which if nitrous existed in GTA 5 that would make more sense, but I don't know, maybe it's hinting at something that could be added in the future, I'm not sure. But yeah, first off we have this tribal Neds graphic here with the kind of like geometric pattern under it. I'm really not a fan of the way that that looks. I wish it was just the tribal graphics and that was it, because that alone looks super cool. And then you have like binary numbers on top, super unique there. I love the like yellow on purple color scheme, but that texture under it just looks kind of weird to me. So yeah, next up we got the Drift Tension, kind of the same deal here with like the honeycomb and the blue. I like that the text is like is mirrored, so essentially it's backwards on one side compared to the other. That's like how true JDM liveries are for a lot of drift cars, so that's really cool. But again, I don't like the texture under it. I like the design of like the blue and stuff with like the binary and then the honeycomb, looks almost like Matrix but blue almost. Very cool there. But again, this texture under it, I guess maybe you can mute that by painting it black, but not really a fan of that. So yeah, we got the text under there and the Drift Tension. Then we have the tribal style Neds. Okay, so this is probably my favorite for this car so far because it's got the tribal graphics, it's reversed on the one side, and it's just super discreet. Like it's got the tribals all over the place, but it doesn't add too much to the car. It's not trying too hard, and that's what I think I like about it the most. I love that little splash of pink there as well. Very cool. I think this looks similar to like the, well, definitely not. I think the kind of shapes of the tribal graphics are the same, but it's kind of got its own spin on it. Very cool livery there. Next we have the Manga Neds, which is as you guys will see, there's a lot of manga variants of these cars now with the kind of the white and black, basically looking like the car was pulled straight out of like a manga comic book or something. So yeah, that looks really cool with the Neds kind of livery plastered on top. Then we have the Wasabi Drift Green, green, which is basically the tribal livery that we saw before, but then we have the shiny wasabi kitty graphics kind of thrown over top of that. I like all the accents here that are in like the fluorescent green there. So you have like the highlighter green and then the other green to match your hair, and then you have all the graphics all over the place, and then you still kind of have those pink accents, which I think is kind of cool. Really cool graphics there, especially the fact that it carries over to the hood and the roof. Really nice to see that. That's one of the busiest liveries I think I've ever seen in this game. And then we have that in pink as well, which I really like the look of too, especially because it kind of matches up with the way these tribals look at the back there. So yeah, definitely like this. Nice and vibrant, very busy, but I still think it could work if you're going for like a proper like Japanese Itasha style drift build. And yeah, those are actually all of the brand new liveries that were added to the Anno series. So lots of really cool new ones to pick from for your builds. Alrighty, so I was a bit of an idiot and totally forgot about the Cypher, but anyways, we're gonna get right started with these liveries. So yeah, going through all these are ones we had before, I think up until the negative speed demon. So this was like Need for Speed Most Wanted livery, like homage to that. But then after this, we've got all the new ones, I think. So we've got the Cypher red stripes here. This is really cool. I think these are new ones. These could be older ones. I'm not quite sure. I think you could tell which of the new ones are which aren't, but these ones are like right on the edge of that. But still, Cypher red stripes, very cool with like the rose gold there. It looks really clean. I like the way this looks, especially on a more modern car like this. I think it makes sense. Same thing with the white here. We have more of like a grayscale color scheme with the same sort of like geometric patterns and stuff. Very, very cool. Next, we have the Drift Taxi, which honestly doesn't make that much sense to me at all. It's got the downtown Cabco livery on the side there with like the stripes and stuff, and then the drift graffiti over top. So yeah, this is probably a reference to something, because on its own it doesn't make sense to have like a Drift Taxi BMW M2, because obviously it's a coupe, and it just doesn't strike me as a car that you'd use as a drift taxi. But yeah, this might be a reference to something, I'm not sure, but on its own I don't think the taxi livery works too well on this car, but still pretty unique. Next up, we have the black broken geometry with some like cool geometric patterns. Not really a big fan of these. It just kind of looks like the car's trying to be a zebra. So not a big fan of that, but still kind of cool. We have the Drift Exotic, which I am a huge fan of. This looks so sick. The fact that it's got like the tribal stripes almost with like the gradient of the pink, the bright yellow into the red. So bright, so cool. Obviously maybe not perfectly at home on a car like this, but if you're going for like a drift style car, this on like an E36 or some older BMW would make a lot more sense. But still, on this car it looks pretty damn cool. I'm a big fan of this one, so that's really cool. And then we have the Thunderbolts to finish it out for the Cypher here. So yeah, another really cool one. Nice bright color scheme. Again, I'm not really a fan of like the kind of geometric patterns and stuff under the actual livery itself. I would rather that just be one solid color, but still a pretty cool livery design. And I like that it's not like perfectly symmetric like they just mirrored it. They actually put in some effort to make it look a little bit more unique. So very cool. And those are all of the new liveries for the brand new Ubermacht Cypher with, of course, the drift tuning. Alrighty, next up we've got the Karin Futo GTX, of course with drift tuning. So let's take a look at these new upgrades. So Boro Futo, those were all ones that we had before. Scandinavian Flick, a lot of these were liveries that came out with the car when it initially released, all the way up to these. The Tandem Battle was already there, Itasha was there. Okay, this is the brand new liveries and where they start. So we got the Manga Classic, which looks straight out of Initial D, like the original manga, so like the comic essentially. This looks incredible. I love the way that they did the lines. I think it's slightly too busy. There's like lines where I don't think there should be lines, but still really cool the way that they designed this. It literally does look straight out of a page in the manga, which is amazing. You can kind of see it there even on the carbon hood. So yeah, nice like anime inspired livery, and then you got the text on the sides. Next up we have the Manga Missile, which has, oh wow, it's got like some old kind of like graphics on top, a little bit of graffiti there. Then on the sides here it's got more graffiti. It looks very weathered, in addition to having like the manga look on the sides there. So definitely more of a drift missile type build with the little like cat figure, I guess. That's really cool. I would love to see like what the text actually means on these cars. But anyway, Manga Missile's done. Then we have the Hardcore Missile, which is kind of a mix of the Manga Classic and the Manga Missile, with a little bit more like battle damage, as you guys can see there. Gray fender, and then a little bit of graffiti all around the car, and then back here at the corner panel too. Next we have the Race T East. Oh man, this is super hot. So like super like looks like a mix of like a D1 GP style car with like a almost like a 80s inspired rally livery. This looks incredible. I love the like almost mint green paint on top of all the crazy like lines and graphics. That's really nice, and it's mirrored to like a true JDM livery would be. Next we have the Race T East Classic with the different shade of blue. This looks incredible as well. Almost looks like a calsonic blue with the yellow accents there. That's super cool. Next we have the tribal style Neds. Same deal as what we saw with the Euros, kind of probably one of the cleaner ones that we're going to get here. Got a nice tribal look all over the side of the car with the reverse livery on the other side of the car there. Yeah, this looks really sick with like the black graphics. I wonder what primary would look good with this, but still very cool. Then we have the Atasha Neds, which adds these, I guess, like tentacles for like yeah, like an octopus. I don't really know, but it's kind of wrapped on top and looks pretty cool. Not really a fan of the way that the tentacles look. I don't really know why that's a thing, but the pink accents, I really like that. I really like the pink, and it's kind of overlaid on top of the graffiti at the back. A lot of these liveries they get more and more busy, and I like them less and less, but I still respect the amount of detail that's in them. And then last up we have the manga Neds, which is basically the same thing with the Neds kind of tribal graphics laid over top. It almost seems like these liveries are just like layered on top of each other, or the color schemes are switched. So not really sure how to feel about that, but still a lot of really cool additions for the Futo GTX. All right, next up we've got the Dinka Jester RR. Honestly, pretty interested to see what the selection's like on this car. Kind of like what I was feeling with the M2, but anyways, we've got all of these which we knew about. The geometric ones we knew about, JDM, 44 Racer, those were all ones that we had before. And then this one I think we had, then the Zero Gas Rally. Okay, so this is the one from the Ellis Carbon I've yet to unlock, but here are all the new ones. So first off, we've got Tech Punk, which looks pretty cool. A lot of, again, like the more like geometric designs, like kind of cross hatch there. Almost looks like a grid pattern. That looks kind of cool, honestly, with the right primary color, like a blue or a green as I have here. This looks really good. Nice little contrast there. Not a fan of the way like the actual graphics look with like this kind of character skull almost looking thing on the side there, but still really cool idea for a livery. Very unique. Next up we have the Tech Punk Inverse, so basically the same deal. I like the original Tech Punk more. It's just like more one solid color. This looks a lot more busy than I think it should be, but pretty much the same deal, but the colors are flipped. Next up we have Splashes Neds. Now this is hot. So this is nice and simple. It's got the right level of like tribal graphics. It's not super busy like a lot of the other liveries we've seen. I love the colorway. It looks almost like a Nickelodeon slime on the side of the car there, but very vibrant color scheme there. You could probably contrast this nicely with like a black or a white. This looks super cool. Next we have the Drift Dinka Orange. This is crazy, dude. Oh my goodness. This looks like a tiger or something. That's crazy. That looks really cool. I love the way that this looks. Lots of room for like new FD style builds with these kind of liveries, man. This looks sick. Almost like, yeah, it looks like a tiger or a lion or something like that. This looks sick. So yeah, nice mix of like almost tribal, but then some like geographic, like nice flowy patterns and Japanese text. Very cool. Drift Dinka in the blue. That looks sick as well. Love the way this blue looks. It almost matches my channel color, so I might actually run this one. But yeah, next up we've got the Modular Pink. Oh, this looks very hot too. So this looks like a lot, very similar to what we have on the FR36, like the same style of tribal graphics with the pink there that you can put on the FR36. This almost looks like the exact same thing. I wonder if it corresponds to the same brand, but yeah, another very cool like tribal graphics. And it also colors the diffuser in the back there pink. That is so cool. That's very pretty. Next we have the Modular in Violet. So basically the same deal, but again, obviously the colors now are more like purpley. That looks amazing. And then the Drift Gorilla in pink, which is absolutely wild. Got this crazy gorilla graphic on the hood, then like the graffiti patterns with the flames. This graphic designer must have gone nuts designing this livery. I'm not a fan of this at all. I think it's way too busy, but still, even though I wouldn't run it on my car, very cool. So lots of new exciting liveries added for the Jester RR, which wasn't the most exciting car, so it's definitely nice to see that. Alrighty, so next up we've got the Vulcar Nebula Turbo, which actually just got access to drift tuning, so it's quite fitting that we have some more liveries. So I believe the Gradient Crosses is a new livery. I don't think I've seen this one before. The Steampunk I definitely have, just because that's so crazy and memorable. But yeah, we got the Gradient Crosses here with like the nice kind of matte gray almost, that still looks a little glossy, which is cool. Next we've got the Graffiti Tags, which is super busy. Oh my gosh, it's like just all over the place, man. It's like yellow, you got pink, you got green. Oh man, this looks looks crazy. I bet somebody could come up with like a good color scheme for this because I sure as hell can't, but still really cool. Then we have the shatter graphics. This looks sick. This looks really cool as well. But yeah, almost looks like something out of a comic book, the way that this shatter is like styled. Nice kind of black into gray and white. Really, really cool. And again, if you had the right primary, I think this would look sick. Don't really like the fact that it cuts off so abruptly there at the rear of the car when the rest of the car is kind of covered in it. So that looks a little awkward, but I still think you could probably make it work. Next up, we've got the shatter rust, basically the same deal, just we have the rust texture added on top of that. Still have that weird cutoff at the back of the car there, but still pretty clean. I really don't like though the fact that it doesn't carry onto the bumper with the rust version of this livery. Not the best quality control there. I wish they would have just done that, but yeah, shatter rust. Then we have the classic race, which, oh man, nice little classic rally inspired livery here as well. I bet this is a reference to a real life rally car. I just don't know what it is, but still very cool with the nice super bright red there on the stripes and then on the sides, as you can see. Then we have the drift backside. This looks sick as well. Nice little, almost looks like graffiti graphics, like plastered over the side with the hot pink. This is super hot. Oh yeah, this thing's sick. With like a white or a black primary, this would look fire. Yeah, that looks amazing. Then we have the drift junk with the junk energy sponsorship on the side there, and then all of the tribal like slash graphics on the sides. That looks amazing. Really, really cool. And this is not as busy either, so I think this would work for like a true drift build. That looks sick. Next we have thunderbolts, basically the same deal with like the slashes all over the car. I really like this colorway too with the gray, the blue, and the red. That looks sick. Very cool. Then we have the rust dents, which again is just super busy. It's like the graffiti livery but then rust on top, which I'm not really a fan of. You got the dense graphics on the side there. It looks almost like a mix of all the previous liveries we've seen, which is actually really cool. You have different body panels with different portions of the livery, which I think is kind of sick, but again, slightly too busy for my tastes. But yeah, those are all of the brand new liveries that we've got for the Nebula Turbo. Really cool. Alrighty, next up we've got the Remus, and I actually just rebuilt this car, so I'm probably gonna have to rebuild it again with a new livery. But yeah, a lot of these we already had. A lot of these came out when the car was initially released, and then you had to unlock a lot of these with the LS Car Meet rep level. So up to this point, okay, so Atomic Motorsport we had, the Wasabi Kitty we had. So this is the one I've yet to unlock. This was the last one you could get originally, but now we've got 8 more, which is amazing. So first off, we've got the manga design, as you guys can see here. Kind of the same deal with the Futo GTX, just kind of like the different shading to make the car look like it's straight out of a manga comic. That looks amazing. I'm sure with like a white or something brighter so you could actually see it, that'll look really sick. Next we have the Easter egg manga with a lot of like sponsor stickers and things like that. Oh man, that looks incredible. So that's gotta be some sort of initial D reference. That has to be an initial D reference or something. It says Easter egg for a reason, and there's all sorts of like sponsor stickers and everything like that, so it's got to be a reference to something. Somebody please let me know in the comments because I can't figure it out for the life of me. But regardless, still looks really cool with the kind of graphics all over the car there. That looks sick. Then we have the manga hard stand, which is so busy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, basically the same deal with the stripes and the shading, but now we have like almost looks like a cloud or like a water looking pattern under everything with the graphics, of course. So yeah, again, a lot of these pretty busy for my taste, but still looks really cool. That looks sick. Then we have the missile atomic, and this looks fire. This looks super cool for like an authentic like drift missile type build. This fits the bill perfectly. So you kind of have a mix of a lot of the previous liveries that we've seen for this car. So the atomic livery and then some sort of like camo livery on the front there. This looks incredible. You also have like the red there from the other liveries that we've seen before. So yeah, this looks like a proper retired FD car or like a D1 GP car you see like sitting in the forest near Ebisu or something like that. People have made videos about that, exploring like the dead cars. This looks like a car straight out of one of those videos, but yeah, this looks super cool. It's like an authentic kind of drift missile type build. I just wish it carried more onto the wing as well. There's too much of a contrast there. It doesn't really look all that good, especially with the texturing under the spoiler too. But that's still really cool regardless. Then we have the missile junk, kind of the same thing, just fewer sponsor stickers. Well, on the one side, and then on this side we have the junk and the hard stand stickers. That looks sick. Pretty much the same idea though, with like the faded paint and the mismatched panels. Very authentic like drift type builds that you'd see. This looks super cool. I'd love to do like an Ebisu meet with these cars. This is sick. Next we have the missile T East, which is crazy. It just looks like the same thing with the T East graphics plaster on top. You see the Atasha girl behind there, and then a lot of graffiti and stuff like that. More mismatched panels. Oh man, you see like the manga looking graphics on the side there too with the stripes. Very cool. Very busy, but very cool. Then you have the 76 crew. This is crazy. This is like almost like a camo pattern with the skulls and stuff. That's crazy. Oh man, and you got like the backbone, I guess, going all the way around the car. That looks kind of sick. Not my style, but still very, very cool. And it's like a nice, cool, like kind of edgy camo style, I guess. We have the Wasabi manga, which is basically the manga graphics, like the stripes and the shading, and then the Itasha girl on top. That looks really cool. I really like that blue. That is very, very vibrant. Brings out the brightness of this car. With like a white primary, this would look sick. And then we have the Ned's Itasha run with the kind of pink tentacles and stuff. Very busy. I don't like how like the skirts are gray on the one side. Don't really like the look of that, but everything else about it looks super sick. Very busy, but super, super cool. I bet somebody could do a really sick build with this. But yeah, those are all of the crazy new liveries that we've got for the Remus. I'd probably do one of the Miss liveries if I had my opinions and if I were redoing this build, but very cool. Alrighty, next up we've got the Sentinel Classic Widebody, which has easily become one of my favorite cars in the game. Oh my gosh, I just love the way the existing liveries look with the body panels and stuff, so hopefully it can only get better from here. But I had the Debonair livery to start, and I think the Douche Gold, that was the last one we got. So now we've got the Fukaru Race. That looks insane with like the red stripes. With the right primary, like a black primary, I think this would look really, really cool. I think this is a new one. Yeah, it's definitely got to be a new one because I don't remember seeing this before. But yeah, really incredible the way that this is designed. Next up, we've got the Hardstand Drift. This is also super hot. You have Princess Robot Bubblegum, I think, on the side there with the pink. This is proper sick. So with the white primary that I have on my car, I would immediately maybe just do this. I gotta rethink my build, but still, this livery is sick. I love like the slash graphics with the pink there. Looks super, super cool. Very Japanese inspired, but it still works on a Euro car like this. So yeah, very cool there. And then the last one we've got is the Forgotten Legends. So this is like a mix almost of a bunch of different liveries we've seen before. It almost looks like fractal patterns or something like that, like geometric patterns there. Then you have the graffiti on top, and then you have like all the brightly colored sponsor stickers. This is not my vibe, but it looks really cool. You have to respect the amount of detail that they put into these liveries, but still very, very cool livery. Hopefully showing off all the details there. And I like that it carries over onto the spoiler too. That wasn't just like an afterthought, but yeah, very cool livery. So those were the brand new liveries that we got. So these three, I think, were the brand new ones for the Sentinel Classic Widebody. Really, really cool. Alrighty, so next up, we've got the Declasse Drift Tampa, and I'm kind of glad this car has been shown a little bit more love because this car dropped and it didn't have that many options for liveries. So now we've got like 10 more, which is amazing. First off, the tribal style flames. This looks sick. Looks so badass. It almost looks like graphics you'd see on like a chopper, like motorbike or something, but still looks really, really cool on this car. It looks very at home. I like the black with the red there. Then we have the Drift Fractal. Looks pretty similar to what we saw with the Nebula Turbo, kind of like the cracked texture on the sides, but this one looks a little bit more uniform and clean, and I think it really fits this car especially. That's really cool. Next up, we've got the Drift Junk. That's nice. So it's got kind of the same idea as the graphics we'd seen on this car previously, but this time it's got the Junk energy drink. That's really nice to see, kind of the patterns that we saw with a lot of the previous liveries, especially like the Raga Rum. So that's nice to see kind of the motif still carried over into that. Next, we got the Drift Camo Green. This is so bright. Oh my god, this looks crazy, dude. This looks like Modern Warfare 2 text or something like that. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this livery. But yeah, we got the Drift Camo. This looks sick. This looks super cool. Again, lots of room for like a lot of FD style builds. I could see somebody making something really cool out of this with like a black primary. It screams Call of Duty on the side there. Just looks like that vibe, or Modern Warfare 3 maybe. I'm not quite sure, but still looks very Call of Duty-ish. But yeah, still really, really unique. Then we have the Drift Camo in blue, kind of the same deal there with the text and stuff. And then you got the camo obviously in the fluoro blue. We got the Drift Jackal. Oh my gosh, it's like all neon, dude. It's like light streaks and stuff like that. Very 80s, very vibrant almost. Yeah, very, very busy, but still looks really cool. I like all the white accents. Definitely like help to brighten things up a little bit. Definitely looks maybe not at home on a car like this, but it's a really nice and welcome change. Honestly, I have never seen anything like this before. Very cool design there. Next up, we've got the Hardcore Custom Paint Violet. That is incredible. Wow. Okay, so this is like super detailed because you have the cobwebs and the spider webs, I guess, on the sides, and then the spider on top, and then like, yeah, like the pinstripe like all the way through the hood there. That looks insane. The amount of detail is absolutely wild. I can't read what that says to save my damn life. Hardcore maybe? Yeah, okay, so it says hardcore. That makes sense. But still, very, very cool livery there with the violet accents. Very clean. Then the same thing with the blue accents as well. I love the amount of detail that's packed into these with the spider webs and stuff. Not my vibe, definitely, but I can respect the amount of effort that went into that. Next up, we have the same thing in red. So again, same idea with the spider webs and stuff like that. Then we have the drift Neds with the tentacles again. I don't know why there's all these tentacles. I'm really not a fan of that at all. But then you've got the pink into the purple with the Neds graphics. This looks proper sick. This looks really cool. If it weren't for the tentacles, I'd really dig this colorway. But yeah, very, very hot. So lots of very unique livery options to kind of spicing up the drift Tampa, which is really cool. Lots of clean ones, a lot more loud ones, but still a lot of great additions here. All right, so next up, we've got the Drift Yosemite. Not a car I think would get much love. It already had a lot of cool liveries to start with, but I think we've got a bunch more. I don't know if these have already existed. We got the Ron livery. I think that's been there. Okay, so we've had all these. The Raga Rum livery. I've seen all those before. Okay, here are the new ones. Okay, so we got the shaded manga. That looks sick, honestly, with the teeth. That looks kind of badass, honestly. Looks really cool with all the graphics. Again, super busy, the amount of like stripes and like things that they've added on. Very, very cool, but yeah, just so busy. I love the amount of detail though. I keep saying that. I just love the amount of detail and the effort that went into that. So yeah, shaded manga there. Then we have the manga T East. Similar vibe. I really like the colorway with this one though. Maybe it's because the car was blue and I think it works with the white, but the white accents here looks super sick. I love the way that this looks. Same deal as the manga one with of course all the sponsor logos and stuff over top. Very, very cool. We have the manga missile, which is like, I guess, divided right down the center of the car. Still the teeth, which I think looks really good and really at home on this truck, but T-East graphics there, and then we've got like all sorts of graffitied out on the sides. That's crazy. It's almost like they masked off the center of the truck and then like added the graffiti over top of that. That looks insane. Yeah, very busy. Would not choose this one, but again, still very cool. Same deal with the street split. Again, it's like split right down the center. You've got the tentacles and stuff on the sides. Very unique. The more I look at these liveries, the more absurd they start to get. But yeah, super busy. And then you have like the skull texture on the inside of the bed there. That's crazy. Oh, it kind of goes over this like full half of the truck. Yeah, very, very unique livery there. Drift rimmers. Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh my god, I'm getting floaters just looking at this thing. It's so busy. But yeah, this looks honestly pretty sick with the patterns. Super busy pattern, but I do like the red kind of glitchy graphics almost. This looks incredible. Yeah, again, if you think through these builds and you put on the right primary color, I think they look good. But yeah, very, very cool livery regardless. We have the drift dents, which is toning it down a little bit. You still have the weird texturing there, but I do like the way this looks with like the fluoro kind of mint green. I don't like the fact that it cuts off right there. That just looks really poorly designed. Kind of the same deal as what we saw with the Euros at the very start. So kind of depressing to see that they didn't put some more effort into texturing the things correctly, but still kind of a cool livery there. So drift dents. Then we have the missile, which is just like full rusted out. I mean, you know, we've got some of the rusty liveries for this truck already, but this one is just rust also with like graffiti and stuff on it. So yeah, still got the teeth there. So I still kind of vibe with it. Still looks pretty cool. Then we have the Ned's Itasha Run. Again with the tentacles. I don't understand the tentacles, then the skulls, then the red with the blue. If it was just the red with the blue and then like the almost like hexagonal like lightning looking graphics in the blue there, I'd be fine with it. But with the tentacles and the skulls, it just looks kind of off. But yeah, still very unique choice. Again, you could probably make a bunch of different builds with these. So those are all of the brand new drift liveries to come with the Drift Yosemite. And last but not least, we've got the Anna's 0350, saving the best for the very last. And you guys can see here, I actually already went ahead and I got too excited and actually changed up my build, but we're going to go back through and show you guys some of the new liveries. So up to the Annis Racing Tribal Alt, that's what we already had in the game, and here are the new ones. So we've got the tribal style rimmers. Love that name, that's fantastic. But yeah, nice like discrete tribal graphics. I think the black is kind of nice as like a good template to show you guys these liveries on. But yeah, tribal graphics there and almost like a highlighter fluoro green, and then the pink rimmers graphics on the side there. Very, very cool. So yeah, we got the tribals there. We have the tribal style 76, which I immediately went and put on because this is just so hot. It has the same kind of tribal shape, but it's got like the purple into pink kind of gradient there, and then it's got the lightning texture all around. This is by far my favorite livery to have come out with these new ones. This looks just so freaking hot, and it looks sick on the black as well. Well, one of my favorites. There are a lot of favorites here, but this is definitely one of them. So yeah, tribal style 76 there. Absolutely love this one. We got the street split, which is kind of so we got the tentacles with the Neds. Again, the tentacles, man, I don't get it. It just looks so weird. But yeah, and then on the other half of the car, we've got like the kind of slash graphics there as well. Looks almost like a little graffiti style there as well, with kind of like the textured pattern with all the sponsor stickers. And then yeah, we got the number there. Again, very, very cool livery. It looks almost like Mad Mike styled with like the gray and the black kind of underneath all of the busy sponsor stickers and stuff. So really cool there. We have the Drift Geometry T East. This is also super freaking hot. I love the hot pink there with the red with like a white or a black, as you guys can see here. This looks super, super hot. Love the way that that looks. So yeah, kind of a cool mix of like the kind of geometric graphics, and then you have kind of like the stripes there on the sides, like almost zebra print. Very, very cool. Love the way that looks. Then we have the Ned Sushi set again with the tentacles there. Yeah, with the pink. Not really my vibe, as you guys could probably tell. The more cars I go through where I see these, not my vibe at all. But still, the pink is pretty freaking hot. I keep saying that. The pink is so hot on this car. It just works so well. So yeah, the Ned Sushi set there. Tribal style. Very, very cool with like the orange into the white with the gray in the back. This looks incredible. So slightly more busy than the Tribal Style 76, but still kind of like the same graphics there. I really like the contrast between like the orangey red almost and then the gray under it. That looks super cool with the yellow sponsor stickers on the front. Really, really nice livery there. Then we have the Drift T East. So this is really cool too. So we got like the Itasha style on the sides, very vibrant colors with the green, the purple, the pink, the blue. This looks sick. And then the pink lip too. I really like that detail. That's a really cool addition. So yeah, very cool there. And I think it contrasts nicely with the black. I think this looks sick. And then lastly, we have the Drift Iconic, which is a pretty iconic livery, I will say. It's got the Stance Andreas on the front, then like the slash kind of cuts there on the front of the hood. Then they bleed all around the car there. Looks super cool. I love this like kind of fluoro blue paint scheme. I wish there was like an alternative to that had like the pink purple that we've seen before, but this still works really well. I just don't like that fluoro blue accent onto the fender there because it doesn't look uniform, but the rest of it, I'm a really big fan of this. This looks super sick. So yeah, guys, those were all of the new liveries that we've just gotten access to with our Drift Tune cars. Lots of opportunities for a lot of incredible new builds. I'm really excited to see what you guys have. Who knows? I might do a Rate My Ride themed just around the new drift cars with these liveries. Maybe. I don't know. You guys got to let me know whether you're interested or not. Let me know down in the comments or hop in the Discord server and leave your opinions. But still, a lot of really cool additions here. Somebody was claiming that there were over 117 liveries added. I don't think that just the drift cars were 117 in total. I think there are other liveries that I just don't know about and the community hasn't really reported on, but at least for the drift cars, these were all of the brand new liveries, which I think is pretty relevant because obviously my channel is centered around GTA 5 drifting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little showcase and found it helpful about, you know, whether or not you want to apply these new liveries and how you can access them. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to continue banging on some more drifting content in light of this new DLC. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video.